To this now, the African National Congress has rejected claims that the national dialogue is a public relations exercise, saying it's a people-driven process that must involve all citizens. Addressing the media today, ANC Secretary-General Fikile Mbalula says the dialogue will not be a once-off event.
Attempts to mischaracterize the dialogue as an ANC public relations exercise are rejected with the contempt it deserves. The ANC is committed to organizational renewal, societal renewal, and advancing the resolutions of the 54th and 55th national conferences, which emphasizes the renewal of the movement and the participatory governance. We call on all South Africans, especially workers, the unemployed, women, youth, and the economically excluded, to participate actively in shaping a future South Africa they wish to inherit.
Well, the party says it will convene a special National Executive Committee meeting next week to discuss matters on local government.
That meeting will be characterized as a meeting to focus on ANC implementing intervention programs in the different municipalities throughout the country. To that extent, we will convene what we call roll call of all public representatives, post the meeting of the National Executive Committee to give marching orders on what the National Executive Committee will have adopted as a program for intervention in local municipalities.
All right, let's try and get some more of what came out of that media briefing. Watching that space for us, Ziniko Mhlaba, who remains at Luthuli House this evening. Ziniko, good evening to you. So the Secretary-General, based on some of the content we've just played, he spoke about the national dialogue. He then proceeded to talk about the elections and that a special NEC will be held. The one issue I'd like for us to explore a little bit is to do with discipline issues within the African National Congress. Who are these people that ought to be disciplined, and what is it that they are said to have done?
Very good morning to you, Xoli. Well, he did not mention names, but when we asked questions regarding the issues of ill discipline, we did reference, the NEC members of the ANC, specifically Mr. Malusi Gigaba, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, and Dr. Naledi Phando. However, interestingly, Xoli, the Secretary General of the ANC responded differently when it comes to these three individuals. Well, according to his statements, he believes that if you're an NEC member, whether you are a Senzo Mchunu, whether you are a Malusi Gigaba, you cannot, divorce yourself or isolate yourself, from the decisions which were taken by an NEC structure of the ANC, which is the highest decision-making body in between conferences. So saying that, well, as much as leaders of the ANC at that level are allowed, to be interviewed in various platforms, whether it's podcast or media organizations, they must always wear that cap of being an ANC member and not communicate their own personal decisions. And of course, this is after we saw Malusi Gigaba on various platforms really detailing the bad state of the ANC, but also with the Senzo Mchunu 2 weeks ago, also sharing his own opinions on the state of the ANC, and those opinions were not really painting the ANC in a positive manner. They were basically saying that the ANC is in crisis. So the ANC Secretary General, regarding those views, saying that, well, those were not acts of freedom, those were acts of ill discipline, and if the members do not toe the line and respect that attitude of centralism within political structures, then they might find themselves in trouble. So saying that this is also upon them to really, if they feel that media organizations or those platforms they had communicated those utterances on feel that they were miscommunicated or misquoted, it is upon them, it is their responsibility to go back to those platforms to really explain and really give context in terms of what is it that they were really saying. But when it comes to Dr. Pando, the Secretary General of the ANC is actually saying that, well, he agrees on those statements made by Dr. Naledi Pando, making reasons such as the first reason being that Dr. Naledi Pando made those utterances at an ANC gathering addressing ANC members and supporters. So that was not out of context. It was not a matter of her being ill-disciplined, but also the statements, according to Mbalula, are encouraging ANC members to really reclaim those values which we saw on the or lived by the veterans of the ANC, such as Mamu Shope, who has been recently buried in 2025. So those were the issues really the Secretary General of the ANC emphasized on, giving those two different versions or reactions to the three statements which were made by Dr. Naledi Pando, Maloseki Gaba, and Senzo Mcholo.
Ziniko Mhlaba, thank you very much, giving us a quick rundown of some of the discussion topics, specifically honing in on the question of discipline within the ANC.